Hello, good evening. It's Inuyasha speaking, and I came to a brief realization. Scrolling through old pictures of screenshots from the years back since I've had a phone, and I'm going down memory lane. What I see is that it's gonna end. It's gonna end. Now you can take that positively or negatively, but no season is permanent. Winter's not permanent, spring's not permanent, fall's not permanent, summer isn't permanent. The season is going to come to an end, and change is permanent. That manga that you read every week, that I read every week, came to an end. It got animated, that animation came to an end. And then that creator, they made different works, and those came to an end. And then the creator's life, they passed away, and it all came to an end. And how you take that is either positively, well, first let's start negatively. You could say it's all going to come to an end. What's the point? If everything's pointless, it's all going to come to an end. Who cares? Or you could take it positively and say, hey, it's all going to come to an end. So let me leave my mark now. Let me try something new now. Let me dream big now and leave my mark, because it'll all come to an end. And the people who are like, I'm just going to keep taking from the world, being a consumer, just consuming what's given to me, taking, I think they're in a worse position than the producer who's creating. There's consumers and producers, and we're all a little bit of both to a varying degree. But consuming and enjoying material, and eventually, let's say you're reading a whole bunch of books, watching a whole bunch of anime, watching a whole bunch of movies, you're consuming. And then eventually you've watched so much, you're like, hey, I know enough that I want to make mine. I want to leave my own mark. I want to join the list of the greats, the creators. I want to write my own book. I want to write my own play, write my own anime, and then draw it, and then animate it, and then make my own movie. And I'm going to leave my mark. And let's see how far I can go. Why? It's all going to come to an end. So this is your cue to whatever job you're working. We're all in different positions in life. You're working. You're at school. Let's say you're just you're in school, you just get good grades and do your sports, and you're working, maybe you're taking care of kids that are doing sports. And we're all in different positions in life. I'm finding myself in a different position than I was 10 years ago, and even 10 years before that. And so it's going to come to an end. One day, this position you're in, what you're going through, what you're stressing about right now, whether you like it or not, it's going to come to an end. So you can either have the mindset, I'm going to go out with the bang, doing all I can, or I'm just going to wait for it to be over. And how you choose to remember it, how you choose to live it out is going to be impacted by your mindset, how you see things, your perspective, the lens you have on over your eyes. You can have a colorful lens, see the world for how it is, or you can have a black and white lens and say, it is what it is. See the world for more than it is with the colorful lens, or see the world in just black and white in the non-colorful lens. So yeah, just looking through the things. I'm looking through the manga updates, and I have a whole bunch of screenshots of how I used to read it and be excited, and the art style is so cool, and this person had such cool concepts. And sometimes when you read, like, say, a whole bunch of isekais, it's when people get reborn into a new world, and you start seeing pattern recognition. You say, hey, I've seen this before with the same thing, and it's a little repeated. But now you're like, hey, after you read like 15 of the books or 15 of the mangas, or let's say 15 of the comic books, you start noticing trends, and you're like, hey man, I could write something better than this. After like the 50th one you're reading, you're like, I think I can have a good grasp on what works and what becomes popular, and I can make something new. I can do that. But that comes from, yeah, consuming to becoming a producer. Hey, I've eaten so many meals that I think I can make it better. I can season it better than this. I can cook better than this. I let's say I've driven enough cars. I know what a car's supposed to work like, or a mechanic, or let's say any field that you're in. Stepping from consumer to producer, and people do it every day. Business owners do it every day. That's where innovation comes, and the want to create comes. And luckily I live in America. We call it a somewhat free society, but being able to follow your dreams. There's a need, supply and demand, and you're saying, hey, I can reinvent this better than the last person. I'm on a mouse and keyboard right now. I can make a keyboard better than the last one. I can make a mouse better than the last one. I've had mouses all my life. I've had mice all my life. I can make a computer mouse better, more comfortable. I can reinvent it in a way that is superior to all the ones that I've used, using the accumulation of my knowledge. And I can fit a demand in society by creating my own supply. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. The human imagination. Being able to bring something out of nothing. Being able to imagine things in your mind and bring out that creative juice. And this house that's never built, you can make a blueprint in your mind and then bring it to fruition. Get the materials and build it up just how you thought in your mind. Have an idea for a business, have an idea for a car, have an idea for a family, a certain lifestyle, and you're thinking it, and then it comes out into thinking it in the imagination station in your mind, in the imaginary, and bringing it into the physical. Super cool. But this is just a reminder. A little yapping. A reminder that, hey man, it's gonna end. The theme here is it's going to end. And so, do you start now or do you wait till later? And do you live quietly, just letting it flow by? Or do you say, hey, I'm going to give it all I've got. I'm going to try. I'm going to do more than I've done previously to get a better outcome than I was going to get before. I was going to still finish it, but it was just going to get done. But just getting it done is different than putting your all in and getting a whole different result. So the amount of energy, effort you put in, the amount of time you put into it, it changes things. And so I don't know what project you're working on or what you've been delaying on. I don't know what hobbies you've been refraining from. I don't know how you've been living your life, but I'm going to let you know that it's going to end. And so now put on the rose-colored glasses. Put on the multicolored glasses and see life for more than what it is. Turn off the black and white mundane glasses, being afraid to live boldly, and turn up a little bit. Turn it up a notch. Turn it from a 4, which is medium, just getting by. Turn it up to a 12. I'm going to put all I can into it. I'm not going to fail. Heck yeah, I'm going to fail. I'm going to be a little weird. I'm going to be a little eccentric, not the norm. But it's going to make life more interesting. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to fail harder. Failing within reason. Not saying go gamble and like you only have like 40K and then you go negative 40. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to put your time, your attention, so your meat, your money, your energy, your attention, and your time into something that's going to give a good trade-off. Something that you find to be a good idea, that you're good at. Something that sets your heart on fire or passion. And do it within reason. I'm not saying to quit your job. You gotta save money. You gotta be a functional adult. You have to think long term, but do something that makes you want to be better. Thank you. I'm gonna come out with more pieces. I'm working on it. Trying to cook a little bit, but it's gonna come to an end. As I'm starting now, this YouTube thing, it's gonna come to an end. So I'm going to try more. And hopefully, if you made it this long, you like it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But it's going to come to an end. Just letting you know.